talking about The Giver by Lois Lowry. We're going to be covering chapters 11 through 15 for this segment. In this part of the story, this is where Jonah starts receiving a lot of memories from the Giver. He starts receiving really happy memories, things that he's never experienced before in his own life, and he really enjoys a lot of things that the Giver is giving him. For instance, the Giver shows him what it's like to ride a sled down a snowy hill. And for Jonas, this is filled with a lot of fun and excitement, and he's never even seen snow before because in his community, the community has chosen sameness, and so the landscape is just flat plains. This makes it easier to get around. The weather is generally warm, so they've never seen mountains or snow or forests or rivers. So for Jonas, this is a really new experience, even though maybe for some of us, the snow seems a very typical thing to do. Now, he starts with happy memories, but earlier in the book, when Jonas has been given his title as memory keeper, they say that he's going to be going through indescribable pain. Well, he keeps wondering what that is, and the Giver finally starts giving him memories where he starts to understand what it means to feel pain. In his community, he's never really felt pain before. If you can remember back at the beginning, it talks about how if you feel an ache or anything, that you get a pill and it's quickly taken care of. The environment is just so safe. No one ever breaks a leg or has to get stitches or anything like that. So for Jonas, what he ends up experiencing is something really new. The Giver ends up giving him a memory where he breaks his leg while riding the sled. But the Giver says that this is not indescribable pain, but for Jonas, this is probably the most pain he's ever felt in his life. As the book goes on, Jonas starts to really understand what the elders were meaning by him experiencing indescribable pain. And even though he's experienced a broken leg, that's really only physical pain. What he starts to experience is true emotional pain, and really probably the pain that as the community they were trying to get rid of because it was just so terrible. It would be the pain of losing a loved one or seeing war and people dying and intense destruction of humanity. So those are the memories that he starts to see. And it's so hard for Jonas, and he starts to feel apart from everyone because no one in his community has ever experienced this sort of thing before, and so he starts to feel alone. But also at the same time, the Giver does balance his bad memories with good memories, and Jonas starts to have memories that make such indescribable happiness within him that he starts to understand that you sort of need a balance, and that it's so important that even though if we experience really sad things, there's also intense happiness on the other side, and to live without that intense happiness is almost like not living at all. And he starts to realize that the people around him are more like robots. They feel nothing deeply, whether it's pain or happiness or joy. Another aspect that you start to find out about the community is they've also erased color. So everyone sees everything in black and white. This was to promote sameness because the idea that color would separate people. Well, Jonas starts to see color. He sees the red of an apple, or the red of the flowers, or the red of his friend Fiona's hair. And it's so beautiful that he wants other people around him to experience it. But they can't because community has chosen to erase all sense of beauty in that sense. By this point in the book, Jonas is starting to understand a little bit more why the community may have chosen sameness. They chose sameness because the indescribable pain his elders spoke about is truly indescribable and absolutely emotionally crippling for him. But he starts to realize that by them choosing sameness, they've also gotten rid of some of those beautiful things of the world, things that make us unique and special and different, and really fun experiences, just like riding a sled down a snowy hill. So he starts to ask himself the question, is it really worth all these really happy memories, knowing you have to go through possibly a broken leg or even the death of a loved one? So as you're reading these chapters, ask yourself this question. Is great beauty truly worth great pain?